Hi, baby. How are you? Can I work on you today? All right. He's got a little spot here, so I'm going to do a very light adjustment. And that's just up in here. And that happens from playing a lot, jumping up and down on the couch. That one's fine. At my new office. Here, look around, pan around a little bit, and then even look up that way if you can. So this is the new office. We just moved in 2 days ago, or we just opened 2 days ago. And we have Ilya and Razor. Is Razor a Rhodesian Ridgeback?
Correct. Yeah.
And hi, how are you?
I'm from Texas.
So originally a Texas Ridgeback. And he's only 11 months old, correct?
Yeah.
And he already had a setback with some hip injury, and then they went to the vet, did x-rays. So we're going to put the x-rays up for people to see. And he has the early onset of some hip dysplasia, which was the diagnosis from the team of veterinarians, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Which side was it? What do you remember of the
It was the
incident?
right. It was the right hip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A little bit like not on the spot where it should be, but I don't know. It's like for me.
And how long was he not moving well at the time?
It's like about months, something like.
And how old was he when it started?
Like 10 months.
Yeah, so it was a month ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So these larger dogs have a, what's the word, propensity, or they have, a lot of larger dogs will have problems with hip dysplasia. Usually it happens later in life when it becomes symptomatic. He did have a traumatic event where there was a time that you guys were out playing and he hurt it. And then they discovered maybe early onset. So one of the things that people ask me with Animal Chiropractic is, am I going to go in and adjust the hip? And the answer is no, because think about what we're talking about. We're talking about the femur, which is the leg bone, the thigh bone, right? And then the ball on top of the femur is called the femoral head, and the acetabulum is the cup. And if the cup is a little malformed, or if the head is not perfect ball and cup, it will displace very easily. And this can happen to humans too. That's called congenital hip dysplasia. Usually happens when the human is born. It'll have a tendency to displace, and that's called dysplasia, right? Hip dysplasia. So I'm not going to get in onto an unstable segment and try to displace it more. If there was a dislocated hip, I have the skills to replace a dislocation, but I would much rather that dog go right to the emergency room for medical emergency handling. But what does chiropractors do? So first of all, we don't cure hip dysplasia, and I want everybody to know that. But we can help manage the dog to have better symmetry, better symmetrical gait, make sure the pelvis, lower back, and the lumbars aren't jammed up. Look at the front end, the atlas, look at the neck, see if the consistency from head down the spine is not tugging or pulling, creating more stress on the dog, throwing out the gait of the dog, and putting a dog in a position where it's going to degenerate much faster. So it slows down degeneration to have a body aligned. It does the same thing for your car. So if your car is misaligned in its alignment, you're going to wear those tires out unevenly, and you're going to go through tires much quicker. So his back right tire is already showing a little wear and tear. We definitely want to align the front end and the back end. Now here's another thing that Elia mentioned to me too. Like, could have, and also, they were talking about it, like, could the traumatic event of that day playing when he hurt himself, could that have really also caused a big misalignment? And that's possible. And then they discovered the underlying weakness in that area as well. So I'm not going to go crazy into that area because I don't want to destabilize it, but I will check the pelvis because it's safe to work there. I'll check the lumbars, safe to work there. I'm going to check him from head to toe and just see if he lets me work on him a little bit today. He's really has a lot of energy right now. He's taking a snooze or relaxing, but let's see what we're going to do. And I'm going to go and start at the head, but I'll follow him, or he might come up to be back with you again.
It's okay, man.
I have a knee brace on. I have a grade 2 MCL tear, but I've been working on it anyway. Hi, baby. How are you? Can I work on you today? All right. You're so cute. So I'm going to first feel the atlas. Okay, let me feel your little atlas.
No, it's okay.
Hey, baby. The atlas feels pretty good on you. All right. Let's have him come sit up between me and Dad. So maybe he'll come back over to this area. Or let's move closer. Let's bring him back to us. So I might have him talk to you, so you have him face you, and you control his head a little bit, and I'll be behind him like this, just working. So the atlas is actually good, and I'm going to come down the neck. There's a muscle knot right here at C4, so I'm going to just hold that and massage it. Now I'm going to check his withers, coming down T3 through T8. He's got a little spot here, so I'm going to do a very light adjustment. And that's just up in here. And that happens from playing a lot, jumping up and down on the couch. That one's fine. Coming down the back. So this is going to be a fairly quick adjustment because he's got a lot of energy. And I'm down to the thoracolumbar junction. And here's a misalignment here. And you can almost feel this one here. So touch this one here, and you'll feel it a little bumpy under your fingertips. So that's a misalignment. Do you feel how bony it is there? Mm-hmm. So what happens is as I run my fingers down, like 2 train tracks, when I get down to here at L4, it's tilted a little bit. So the transverse process is tilted up on that side, creating a bony protuberance. It's anatomically perfect, it's just tilted. So I'm going to switch over to this side, and Daddy's going to hold him for a second, and I'm going to adjust right in here. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, made a little click. And then I'm going to do in here, sacral base. Now he's giving me a chance to feel the acetabulum. I'm going to massage him a little bit. And this is something you could do at home too. You could just keep massaging his hips. You might start to enjoy that. Now you see his tail tucked under because he's a little scared of me. He's a little wary. He's like, what is he doing? But I'm just massaging the glutes right now. Who doesn't like their glutes massaged? Now he's sitting in my lap. Now he's biting me. Now I'm going to pull the tail a little bit, but not, whoop. Sometimes you can traction the tail a little bit, which is nice because it'll naturally align the sacrum. So let's bring him around one more time to where he was before. And I'm going to hold the tail and just stretch.
Look at me.
Good. Good. Tail feels good. This is the good side, the left side. I'm feeling the hamstrings. I'm on the semimembranosus, semitendinosus. The membranosus is more medial. I'm going to go up here near the bud. I'm on the sacrotuberous ligament. I'm feeling the hamstrings, feeling the quads. He's really got great muscularity. Now I'm going to go to the right glute. The right glute is has a little less tone than the left side. So I could tell that that was probably the injured side. I mean, you told me, but you can feel it. And I'm going to just massage him a little bit. No thrusts, okay? I'm not adjusting it. I'm doing doggy massage. So my thumb is on the head of the femur at the acetabulum at the junction of where it aligns. And I'm pumping his leg and I'm holding the tender spot. Now I'm going to bring him back towards me a little bit more. And I'm going to, again, massage out that glute. So I'm doing more body work right now. Soft tissue work. I'm not doing anything dangerous. I'm not taking risks. Hey, listen, I don't want to take a risk. So nothing bad. And look, I'm just rubbing. I'm just massaging. I always like to say take a breath. So everybody watching, take a breath. Let's do one more breath. Everybody breathe. I like to watch his breath per minute. And he's panting a little bit, but it's not excessive. He doesn't have rapid breathing right now, and he's starting to try to get a rhythm of his own. And in a way, he's giving in a little bit. I'm on a tough, tender spot. I'm on what's called a trigger point, and I'm working in, and he's giving it to me. He's letting me be here for a minute, and we're only going to do another few seconds. Let me feel the quad at the same time. I am right on the top of that place that's called hip dysplasia. And I'm feeling super tight muscles around it because around it the body splints up. It creates something called muscle splinting, which it tightens up to protect itself. And I'm on a little bit deeper now. My knuckle, I'm all the way up to the top of my knuckle here, but he's giving it to me, and that's the tender spot. And that's it. We're going to let him walk it off now. And we're going to watch him shake. He'll probably shake, so give him a chance to move and shake.
You feel okay? Come here. Razor. Come here.
Take him off leash, or you like him on leash?
Okay.
Yeah, let's take him off leash and let him walk around. You can follow him. Now, unfortunately, I know people watching go, well, you have wood floors, and my wood floors are not good for hip dysplasia, so I'm sorry about that. Let's see what you want to do. So I think everybody should leave a comment for Razor and wish him a good life. He's such a great dog.
Razor. Come here. Come here. Razor. Come here. Come here. Good.
He's moving well. He's looking for his mom. All right, so we're going to finish here. Razor did not shake it out, but that's okay. You know, if you guys want to see Razor back, leave a comment. You know, what I usually suggest to a family that has a young dog that they want to do maintenance for is to come back in a month or come back in 6 weeks, come back in 2 months, whatever you can afford to do. And you're mostly just doing maintenance. You're maintaining the best symmetry you can throughout the dog's life, which decelerates degenerative process. And is that worth it? For some people it is. You know, am I going to cure anything? No, not. Thanks for watching. And that's just up in here. And that happens from playing a lot, jumping up and down on the couch. That one's fine. Coming down the back. So this is going to be a fairly quick adjustment because he's